between the duplicitous Duke and his facelift-enhanced wife. Here's the red carpet arrival.
But there's real estate. On a website homepage, there is real estate there on a newspaper front cover, and something has to be filled in there about someone royal.
It all began with one tiny post, one that Meghan Markle never, in her wildest dreams, saw coming. Not from the tabloids, not from the palace, but from someone she once called her ride or die. But in Hollywood, loyalty expires faster than champagne bubbles at a Netflix wrap party. That post didn't come from a gossip column or a jealous rival, it came from within. From a woman Meghan had shared dinners with, laughed with, maybe even cried to when the world got cold. And when that post hit the internet, boom, Prince Harry went ballistic. Let's rewind. Just weeks earlier, Meghan was strutting through Paris on what she proudly called her redemption tour. She wasn't there as the ex-royal outcast, she was the stylish comeback queen. Cameras caught her at the Ritz, sipping espresso behind oversized shades, a picture of Parisian chic. But while she was playing Fashionista Reborn, the whispers online were getting nastier. Who's paying for this trip? This time? And just as the noise began to fade, boom. A friend, the one we'll call the insider, dropped a cryptic Instagram story. A simple old photo from their Soho House days. The caption? Some people forget where they came from until their past comes knocking. Harmless? Maybe. But in the world of social media, subtlety is gasoline. Within hours, the internet caught fire. Everyone dissected every emoji, every pixel, every possible meaning. Was it shade, betrayal, a warning shot? And then came the jaw dropper. The insider wasn't just any random acquaintance.
I feel fortunate that our children...
She had been deep in Meghan's inner circle before the palaces, the titles, and the Monteceto mansions. She knew it all, the early grind, the late-night scheming, the mirror-rehearsed smiles, the making of Meghan Markle, the Duchess who outsmarted the firm. But she wasn't playing along anymore. According to insiders, Harry found out about the viral post before Meghan did. His phone exploded, tang, with alerts from aides and publicists. One witness described his reaction as volcanic. He stormed into their Monteceto kitchen, waving his phone, demanding, "Who is this friend and why is she saying this?" Meghan froze, not angry yet, just stunned. Every friendship, every event, every handshake, she treated life like a chessboard. So a betrayal like this wasn't personal, it was strategic sabotage. By sunrise, that little post had snowballed into a full-blown scandal. The friend went live on TikTok, and that's when the tea started spilling faster than wine at Soho House. She sat there, nervous laugh, glass of white wine, and started talking. Not lies, not defamation, but just enough truth to sting. She claimed Meghan practiced princess poses in the mirror years before meeting Harry, that she always dreamed of marrying rich or royal, that her hangouts were always strategic, and then the kill shot. The friend claimed Meghan scripted her entire Oprah interview rehearsing emotional pauses and teary lines to spark sympathy. "I'm not saying she's fake," she said, smirking, "but she's always known how to turn pain into profit." That clip, 20 million views in 24 hours. Hashtag number Meghan exposed trended worldwide.
Nice. Now, we were just saying how we never have a moment to catch.
Harry lost it. Sources said he was furious not just at the friend, but at Meghan. How could someone so close blindside them like this? A royal biographer even claimed Harry muttered, "This is why my family never trusted anyone around you." That one line, if real, would have sliced deeper than any headline. Behind closed doors, Meghan's team scrambled, calling, emailing, begging the friend to clarify or correct, but it was too late. The genie was out. Now, major outlets, British tabloids, American gossip shows, even French magazines were circling like sharks. Everyone wanted one thing. Who was this friend and what else did she know? Rumors swirled that she'd already been approached by, you guessed it, a streaming platform. The same one that had given Meghan and Harry their multi-million-dollar deal. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. Harry wanted to issue a statement, to calm the chaos, to make it look like a simple misunderstanding between friends. But Meghan refused. Her pride wouldn't let her bow to someone she saw as an inferior player. Instead, she retaliated, not with words, but with influence. Her team fed glossy, positive stories to loyal journalists, glowing pieces about her motherhood, her charity work, her resilience. But no PR magic could hide the wound. This time, the knife came from within, and that's what hurt the most. For Harry, it was humiliating. The man who traded crowns for California now watched his wife's personal life become late-night punchlines. Sources whispered that their Monteceto mansion grew tense, Harry isolating in his office, skipping meetings, while Meghan's insider kept poking. And then, another post. This time, just one line. Sometimes the truth doesn't need a palace, it just needs Wi-Fi. The internet exploded. Sharp, petty, deadly. Meghan reportedly broke down that night crying over what she called the ultimate betrayal. Her friend hadn't just exposed secrets, she'd ripped away the fairy tale mask. Fans divided instantly. Some screamed privacy invasion, others said karma. But one thing was certain for the first time in a long time, Meghan Markle wasn't controlling the narrative. The truth was no longer hers to tell, and that made it dangerous. When the dust finally began to settle, you'd expect Meghan Markle to pause, strategize, maybe gather her PR army. But oh no, what came next was pure chaos. Monteceto turned into a war room overnight. Curtains drawn, phones buzzing non-stop. Meghan pacing the marble floors, phone in hand, refreshing every feed, reading every comment, every jab. She wasn't just angry, one insider whispered. She was incandescent. You could feel the rage through the walls. Harry, meanwhile, was crumbling.
Interesting about it is that it is so much worse than we could reasonably have expected.
He'd fought the palace, the press, even his family to shield her, but this was different. This was personal. This came from someone Meghan had trusted with her heart. The humiliation cut deep. He snapped at staff, cursed Hollywood fakes, and blamed careless friends for dragging Meghan's name through the mud. But behind the anger was exhaustion. He's tired, one royal insider told a UK outlet. He feels like they're fighting ghosts her past. His family, it never stops. Still, Meghan wasn't done. Within 48 hours, her team launched what one publicist called a code-red PR operation. Calls flew to friendly outlets. Social media accounts began dropping coincidental posts painting the friend as jealous, opportunistic, money-hungry. It was classic Meghan. Control the narrative before it controls you. But this time, the narrative refused to obey. Because as Meghan's PR machine spun its wheels, the friend now nicknamed the whistleblower was busy inking a deal of her own. Not just any deal, a Netflix deal. Yes, the same platform that once celebrated Harry and Meghan was now reportedly planning a documentary about the dark side of fame and friendship in Hollywood. They didn't name names, but they didn't have to. Everyone knew. Meghan went ballistic. Sources claim she stormed out of a meeting shouting that Netflix was stabbing her in the back after everything she and Harry had done. At home, things were fracturing. Harry begged her to ignore it. Let it go, Meg, please. But she wasn't built for silence, she was built for control. And seeing someone else steal her spotlight using her own platform was unforgivable. Their relationship tension was palpable. At a Santa Barbara dinner, witnesses said Harry sat quiet, while Meghan seethed, ranting that she was being targeted from every side, the royals, the media, and now my friends. Harry snapped back. Maybe if you stopped fighting everyone, they wouldn't all become enemies. The table went silent. Meghan left in tears. 20 minutes later, she returned, eyes red, smile forced. To the public, they were still the perfect pair, but behind those cameras, the foundation was cracking.
Myself at risk for that, but I will continue on with a life of public service.
The friend story kept spreading like wildfire. Talk shows, royal pundits, even late-night hosts joined in. Then Netflix dropped a 30-second teaser, a shadowy silhouette and a woman's voice saying, "Fame doesn't change you, it reveals who you always were. No name, no face." But everyone knew. Meghan lost it. She called her PR team in the middle of the night screaming, "Everyone knows it's me. They're humiliating me without even saying my name." Harry was done fighting. He retreated long. He walks solo meetings consulting advisors about their Netflix deal. His biggest fear, that Netflix might pull the plug completely, cutting their financial lifeline and credibility. Public opinion split like never before. Half called Meghan the victim of betrayal, half called it karma, the queen of manipulation meeting her match. Behind closed doors, sources say Meghan collapsed emotionally, days in bed, ignoring calls, crying to Doria, who flew in to comfort her. Harry tried to help, but the arguments kept coming louder, colder, more frequent. He loves her, an insider confided, but he's drained by the drama. Then came the final blow. The friend didn't stop at one documentary. She signed a podcast deal too. Its title? The Duchess and the Truth.
More isolated, winding up the royal family, and people are beginning to turn off and switch off from them.
Within hours of the announcement, Meghan's PR team scrambled again, pushing new charity photos, sweet couple moments, smiling hand-in-hand shots. But the internet wasn't buying it. The narrative was being set in stone. Once Hollywood's golden girl, Meghan was now seen as the architect of her own downfall, and Harry, heartbroken. He had given up everything, his titles, his family, his peace, to protect her. But as he watched her unravel under the weight of her own past, he realized something every fairy tale forgets to teach. You can protect someone from the world, but you can't protect them from themselves. The friend's betrayal didn't just ignite a media storm, it exposed every crack in the Sussex empire. And as Hollywood moved on to its next scandal, one haunting question lingered in the Monteceto air, echoing through the silence. What happens when the world finally stops listening? But here's the thing, the world never really stops listening to Meghan Markle. Not completely. Even when the headlines move on, her name lingers like perfume in a crowded room, impossible to forget, impossible to ignore. Because somewhere between fame and fallout, Meghan,
they were true or not, to avoid other less favorable stories,
became more than a duchess, more than a celebrity. She became a symbol of ambition, love, and controversy, all rolled into one messy, beautiful disaster. And now, as the world watches her next move, everyone's wondering, will she rise again or fade into the noise she once controlled so masterfully? Insiders whisper that Meghan's team is already plotting a counter comeback, a glossy interview, a redemption-themed project, maybe even a heartfelt documentary to reclaim her truth. She's been quiet, yes, but not defeated. Meghan's silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. Behind Monteceto's gates, she's said to be rewriting her story again, piece by piece, just like she always has. Because if there's one thing Meghan knows better than anyone, it's how to turn pain into power and scandal into spotlight. Harry, though, he's different now. Friends say he's distant, reflective, torn between the woman he loves and the peace he craves. The Monteceto mansion, once a sanctuary, now feels like a stage built on broken scripts. But as dawn breaks over California, Meghan's light flickers once more. Maybe it's the beginning of another chapter or the start of her final act. Because in Hollywood, every downfall is just a dramatic pause before the next big comeback. And if anyone knows how to make an entrance after chaos, it's Meghan Markle.